Hello guys, let's go. My name is Dalaran, and in today's video I want to do another installment of WoW update, a type of video where I just go over some of the World of Warcraft news, give you guys my opinions on what is happening, and just kind of provide general commentary on some of the recent events. By the title, you'll probably be thinking, okay, does Dalaran watch PewDiePie? Yes, I do. Yes, the idea is not original, but I felt like it kind of fit, because we'll be talking about an actual OOPSIE with the Lunar Festival mount, the Swine of Good Fortune. I also want to touch on a little bit about the new raid and the race to the Mythic World first, and a few other things that I found online. I just want to quickly touch on this one. There is an updated loading screen for both Warsong Gulch and Arathi Basin coming out as an updated version for patch 8.15. The maps should play the same, so you shouldn't have any new hills and new maps, and running from farm all the way to stables should take about the same travel time on the new version of the map as it would take on the old version. You're just improving the graphical fidelity of some of the buildings and the environments. On top of this, they're also adding new loading screens for these. So these are actually widescreen support, which is kind of cool looking. I like it. I like the theme behind it, and I feel they do have that World of Warcraft aesthetic. Super excited for this change to come out in 8.15. But let's get into the big news. Why is everybody unhappy with Horgus, the Swine of Good Fortune, another mount added to the World of Warcraft store? Now, I feel like we've done this already before. When they added the Vulpine mount, the blue one that looks beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome looking mount, but not a lot of people were happy that Blizzard is adding yet another store mount to the game. Now, if you come into all of this and you're fairly confused, like, why is everybody upset at a store mount? Doesn't Blizzard have already a bunch of other store mounts? Was every store mount like this? Why does Blizzard keep releasing them if this is the kind of feedback that the community is going to give? Was this something that was planned for a while and Blizzard was like, you know what, people are going to hate it anyway, but we plan to release a mount for the Lunar Festival, so here we go? Or is this something that kind of came out of nowhere and is just having like backlash? Blizzard was hoping, oh, they're going to love this, but apparently they don't. Now, I'll be honest, for a while I thought, why is everybody making a big deal with these mounts? And some of you guys might have been in a similar position. Maybe somebody is looking through the store and they sees a really cool looking mount and they really like it, but like, really likes it. So they're kind of sitting there and they're jonesing for this mount, they want it, and it's almost like an impulse to want to buy it because it's there and it's new and you don't have it and you want to add it to your collection. Where I would look at the mount like that and be like, oh, okay, it's cool. Do I want it? Sure. Do I think it's worth $25 for me? No. So I'm going to sit there and not act on any impulse to buy it because I simply don't naturally have it. So I thought for a bit maybe Blizzard was simply releasing these and people were upset because some people have that impulse to want to get everything that is new, and it's kind of predatory. At least that's what I thought at first. But then when you think about it, when you pay for the game, let's say $40, $50, $60 per expansion, and on top of it you're paying $15 a month regularly every single month, and then Blizzard releases a cool mount for a holiday, there could be two ways of how you introduce this mount. Either one, announce it, hey, Lunar Festival, I know not a lot of you guys really care about the events that are in-game, but here's a mount that you can earn by doing activities inside of a festival for a game that you guys are already spending $15 a month and paid for the expansion. Or you are paying $50 a month, you bought the expansion, you have this event that you don't really do a lot of the holidays for, unless you really want some of the toys. Something cool comes out in celebration of the holiday, and then you have to pay extra $25 on top of everything you're already paying regularly. Now you take all that into consideration and take somebody who has been unhappy with how BFA has been going. All you're doing is sitting there hoping that this game makes a U-turn, comes back to its glory days, but then the developers are not giving you any updates, continue not giving you any updates, and then one comes out and it's a mount for you to buy. So of course the tensions are going to be really, really high and emotions are running all over the place. And I can't even blame them because I'm someone who's passionate about this game. I don't blame anybody for being passionate about this game. The consumers and everybody's going to voice their opinion, whether it's positive, whether it's negative. People are just going to say what's on their mind. So to put a positive spin on this, it's a cool looking mount, but I think it's kind of is it ironic? Oh, of course, it's a Chinese New Year mount, and it's the year, I guess, of the pig. So that's where they have Horgus, the Swine of Good Fortune. This mount is a pig, but it's also like a piggy bank. It's a porcelain pig that runs around and flies, and it has gold falling out of it. To get the mount that has gold falling out of it, you have to pay for it. So it's almost like that's it's almost like, is it just me, or is it irony of somebody that has to pay for extra for a mount, spend the extra money, and you get a piggy bank mount that has gold literally falling out of it in waterfalls? I just me? I feel like it's just me, but let me just try to put a positive spin on this. The mount is a great looking mount. It's a beautiful looking mount. It has awesome animation. Whoever worked on this mount definitely put in a lot of effort. It looks absolutely awesome. And for the holiday that we have, the change with the Chinese New Year, it's great. It fits, but I don't know if it was a good idea to put another mount with some sort of a, I guess, store attached to it. Maybe it would have been a much better idea if this was added for the limited time offer of the holiday. If this was like, hey, join World of Warcraft, you can get this mount, here are the holidays. Because I don't really know a lot of people, unless you're someone who loves collecting, that participates in a lot of these holidays all that often. This also comes on the heels with how BFA has been. It hasn't been pleasing everybody. For me personally, I've been enjoying it. I have a guild that does the new raid, and the new raid is awesome. We're progressing on it through Mythic. I'm also enjoying Mythic Plus Season. The Reaping affix is much better than was Infested. A lot of mobs, but also allows my Outlaw to cleave through everything, doing up to 200 DPS and more during a single Reaping trash pull. And it's awesome. I think it makes the gear upgrades a little bit more interesting, because now Mythic Pluses are fun again. Every time we run into these, there's going to be an upgrade on our gear. The PvP season, I feel like, has been doing a good job, and Blizzard is actually making updates to PvP regularly. And they're adding what I wanted for the longest time. They're adding developer notes on some of the changes they're making, whether they like stuff, they don't like stuff, whether it's a controversial change or whether it's a good change. The fact that there's communication happening is something I'm excited about. So this stuff is all good on the PvP side. I've been enjoying it for a lot. I haven't got to really play it all that much, been able to play it on and off depending if I have anybody to play with. At the current moment, I have more regular PvE content that I can do for myself rather than PvP content, besides running random battlegrounds. So I feel like there's definitely parts that have been fun, but then there's other parts that are not that great, like the Azeroth system has been an on and off experience. I like the idea that with new Azeroth gear, I, for my spec, can change my talents to change my playstyle. I actually have to change my rotation based on which traits I run. So with the new raid, new Mythic Plus season, I'm recycling my gear for higher item level and I get new traits. All of a sudden, I'm going from a build where I use less common points and more fast-paced playstyle to now more bursty playstyle for Outlaw with a much slower rotation, but it's more intricate in a sense. So I think it's good, but there's definitely parts like Azeroth gear. Getting same traits is not that fun. If you got better traits, could have been better. If you got them more regularly, would have been awesome. If you had more avenues like PvP, Conquest Points, Vendor to get them, that would be even easier. And maybe if you didn't have to spend so much gold reforging them just so you could switch between specs, I think it would be a lot less punishing. Compared to, let's say, how the artifact weapons were for Legion. They said that we're gonna try to make that system easier, but with all this gear, it just hasn't been. So when you combine all these things, plus a slew of negative feelings, class changes, GCD, the islands that you don't enjoy, or just looking at some of the fights mechanics or the philosophy for the game, especially if you're in the camp of this game sucks and you don't like it and you don't want to play it and you're probably waiting for summer until vanilla comes out, then of course you're gonna get this kind of response. I don't know what Blizzard was thinking. I think this mount should have been added something maybe to gift to players. Maybe as a gift to be like, okay, hey, here you go. I don't know. I try to make these videos as constructive as possible. I don't really follow a script, but I do try to make them a little bit more structured. But here, that's about all I can say, man, and I don't think I can really end that one. This game definitely isn't the worst experience that I've ever had. It definitely has some problems, but putting a mount on a paywall for the store is not gonna help the situation. In fact, it might make things worse. And finally, I talked a little bit about the raid, and I'll be honest, I actually love me some Battle for Dalaran or Siege of Dalaran if you're Alliance. The raid overall has so many cool mechanics. The first time I ran through with the guild, and even on Heroic, with how challenging the last two bosses were, It was awesome. Getting ahead of the curve in a single week was great. It was an awesome experience. Every fight feels interesting. And the Mythic version is only going to make him even more interesting as we are diving in, as we've down the first 3 bosses. We've been going on to the Conclave, Rusticon, Mechatork, and more as the time goes on. Watching the Mythic race for World First between Method, Limit, and other guilds has also been exciting. Watching Limit get such a head start at the beginning was amazing, but honestly, in the back of my mind, I've been rooting for Method for a while. I feel like Method's player are just on a different caliber, and even though Limit has such a head start, so many more pulls on Jaina, I feel like Method has the opportunity to maybe take it ahead of them. But that's just my thought process. That's just kind of my early prediction. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Method is going to sweep the rug out of under from everybody else, even Limit, who's been ahead on the boss for a while. I love the raid. I love the fight. So far, we've been able to down 3 bosses, and I cannot wait to see more bosses in Mythic. I want to be able to see the full run and get cutting edge for this raid tier. While Uldir was a very interesting raid to begin with, it definitely grew stale pretty quickly. This one, with how many bosses there is, with opportunity for better and more loot, some of the loot combinations, the fact that they added so many more Azeroth piece varieties, so you can get your shoulder, chest, and headpiece and get geared out very, very quickly. I think it's awesome, and I cannot wait to see Jaina in Mythic for myself. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed this WoW update. Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts? I want to hear from you guys from this type of video because I love the comment interaction, especially in these, because of the news that we cover. If you guys want to see me do more of these, maybe even more regularly, be sure to give this video a like to let me know that you watched it and you enjoyed it. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, as well as on live streams, which happen every day from 5 till 7 p.m. EST, except for Thursdays, which is my one day off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see all of you guys in another video.